We're Autoliner. Happy holidays from all of us and 93 XRT.
We all really worked together in that band. I mean, had songs that individuals would kind of start, but we'd all work on them together.
We all sensed there was a chemistry that was worth paying attention to.
We just brought all of our stuff to John's house and kind of said, okay, we're going to make a record in his house. I went to John's house every night after work. I mean, I would finish work, I would shut my computer down and then head over to John's house at Hyde Park every night.
It sort of seemed like the house that I live in sort of became sort of an unofficial member of the band, if you will.
We would just go straight down to the basement and start rehearsing. And we had a chemistry, so that it wasn't that hard.
My big left toe would get involved in a mix with a mute button. Just hit the mute with my big left toe, and we just got our cues. So that was a lot of how we did stuff. It seems crazy now.
It was really fun. It was super creative time. It was fun.
Yeah. Oh, totally.
This song's called Ambulance.
I remember that was the exciting part of this band, was that it felt legit musically, not only musically, but then Brian kept saying, well, I'm going to talk to Micheal Roux and we're going to get on Parasol. We'll put this out on Parasol.
I mean, we made the 4-song demo, which was, we were called Head at that point in time. But in any case, we recorded, it's just called Head and has 4 songs on it. And it was just us playing live in the basement, recorded, I think, with a somewhat okay microphone. and then we overdubbed the vocals. And it sounds quite good, actually, all things considered. That it's not a particularly, it's not a professional recording, but we used that to send out to some clubs, and that's what we got our first few shows with.
This next one is the first song on our new album.
He's been wanting to do that ever since it was the first song on the new album.
We booked a lot of shows. We were playing a lot of venues. We were doing like Metro and House of Blues and the IPOs, the one IPO out in Los Angeles.
It was just, Los Angeles, goodness gracious. I'd never been there before, right?
We got to play some events that Rolling Stone had done too.
People would be like, oh, I know your band. Like random people would come up to me like, wow, you guys I love your album. And I was like, what?
When I think about what does Autoliner sound like? What's their main influence? Obviously there's aspects of some Beatles stuff in there, but I kind of thought it was like a Partridge Family and the Monkees decided to have a pajama party, and then suddenly, unexpectedly, the Talking Heads and XTC show up uninvited.
We made that album, that first record, and it was received very well. Like everyone loved it. And we loved it. I mean, we were proud of it. I remember thinking like, wow, the second one's going to be even better. Like, and I think you have that feeling of like when you get some momentum, you're like, okay, the second one's going to be even better than the first one was. But it ended up being kind of a grind.
Well, boy, it wasn't a good ending.
The only reason I think we even stopped was kind of near the end of it, where there was these debates about mixing, and John was mad at me about something, and then we'd be on the phone talking about it. I'm like, I can't talk about this right now, that kind of thing.
Brian Leach and John Ross, they both actually were longtime classmates going back, I think, to 3rd grade, but they were very solid friends.
my heart just sank so low I can't even begin to describe it to you. It was because of how it sounded, and I was just so disheartened. And for whatever reason, I shared this with Brian. Not cruel or anything, but I didn't take his feelings into account. I mean, because he was the one that was responsible for the things that I was criticizing, right? And then he disappeared.
I was thinking we would just take a break and come back and maybe not maybe. I was thinking let's do a third record, but I was usually the guy that was like the upbeat guy, and I was getting kind of sick of it by the end.
I wish that I'd handled things very differently than I had. You know, there's retrospect, but I also understand why I handled things as I did.
In regards to the mix of the second record, he may have been right.
I would love to see them put together another album. They have so much talent, all three of them.
I don't think we ever said like it's over. We just it just sort of dissolved. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think we all sort of became aware of the fact that there's something pretty cool happening here.
You never know. Hey, we might still have a third record in us. Who knows?
It might be fun to try to finish it someday. I don't know. I'm not opposed to something like that.
Johnny Leach would be so happy.
Wherever you go, there's a light in your eyes. Light keeps shining through. Wherever you go, there's a lighthouse.
It's time for lasagna.